On the eve of the 11th of June, 2020, I write a letter to you, my younger self. I'm alive. You're probably somewhat glad to hear that. And there's a funny thing about this thing we call life, that we live it in perpetual motion but always tell ourselves to stop and think. Life doesn't wait for you. So stop wishing for it to pass by so quickly. You're a kid, I know, and the next big thing is always on the horizon, but isn't it wonderfully ironic that when you're a kid and you want the world to spin faster, time moves the slowest? And now, when you want to savor a moment, a day, a year, it's gone in the blink of an eye. Wasn't last year yesterday? Learn to cherish those days before they become nothing more than memories, draped in your nostalgia. That can be lesson 1. Nothing lasts forever. You're probably wondering why I'm telling you that nothing lasts forever when I just told you to cherish what you have, but the reality of it is hard to process. Probably because you're a human, and humans can be paradoxes sometimes. It's in our very nature to believe that friendships, that feelings, passions will last forever. They don't. That doesn't make them any less valid. If anything, you should appreciate them more, but this will be a source of pain in your future, and I think it's best if you heard it from me. Keep finding things to look forward to. You used to like drawing a lot. Spend a little less time on the things that don't matter and a little more time on working out the things that do. I mean, how is it that we understand most easily that which has no meaning? It doesn't matter what John or Jane or Joey think of you. You barely know them. Take it from me. In a year, none of you will be thinking about each other at all. Spend less time worrying about your future and more time understanding what it could really be. The future is a scary place. Remember how people used to always ask you what you wanted to be? You hated that question because you never had an answer. So let me rephrase. Why were you so afraid of finding out? You plodded along, carried by the current of life's stream. You knew early on that the stream would one day open up to a river and eventually to the ocean, but for so much of your life, it was always around the bend. Out of sight, out of mind. So when you first saw the river's mouth, you realized just how small your boat was and how gentle the stream had been. You started to build a bigger boat, and you had so much time to learn. But you never did, because you couldn't admit to yourself how afraid you were of the bigger world. So you made decisions on the spot, never appreciating that they would shape the foundations of your future. And when you set sail into that vast beyond, the deck beneath your feet began to crack. So maybe don't do that. Well, you might then say, the future looks pretty grey, all clouds and rain and fog, to which I'd reply, where's the sun on a stormy day? It's still there, as long as you want to see it that way. And you'd ask, why are you rhyming like I'm a child? And I'd reply, because you are, and shh, I'm the one asking questions here. The point is, worrying gets you nowhere. Do you remember what you were worrying about 1, 5, 10 years ago? Remember that girl you liked in primary? Worrying about whether she liked you back, worrying about what she would say if you told her? Well, you never found out if she did, and that's okay. Remember the fear of moving to a new high school, when all your friends from primary went to another one, how you wanted to stick beside them, how frightened you were of the change. That was okay too. Remember the sleepless nights spent open-eyed, staring at the ceiling because you didn't want to face tomorrow? An exam, an interview, even a first date? When you woke the next morning, what did you do? You carried on. Life carried you in its current, just as it always has. Remember years spent around people who drove the way you thought, defined the limits of your happiness and the scope of your success, the challenges of esteem and ability and self-worth, that you needed to study here, work there, earn this much, drink that much, be friends with this person and that one. But you're not a child anymore. You began to appreciate your own individuality, to accept it as okay. No doubt, you'll face more challenges. Life is like that, equal parts beauty and conflict. You've sailed so far on the river and the ocean will come soon. So, my final piece of advice to you is a short one. Be grateful for who you are and where you've come from. Be yourself, you're alive, and you'll be okay.